The story begins with a boy named Akira reading alone, but another student, Nanis, asks if he likes isekai stories. He replies that he reads anything he finds for free, and there were girls commenting that they didn't even know he was from the gang. But a portal suddenly appears above them. They are all teleported to a mysterious place where a man named Chamberlain informs that the king will talk to them, but when they start asking questions, he tells them to shut up. The king reveals that they are in the kingdom of Earthis, the largest nation human continent, but we find out that he is being attacked by demons. He explains that only one hero, who will be selected among them, can defeat the demon lord, but Akira is happy to know, since it is exactly like one of her isekai stories. Chamberlain tells them to put their hands on a crystal ball and say the word in their minds so that everyone can see their statistics. A student is disappointed that he is not the hero. Chamberlain says that his attributes are the same as his are above average. He can still make history by helping the hero. All students verify their statistics, and Akira realizes that he was classified as Nanis thinks it matches him. His colleagues don't even know he's in the class. A boy named Sato ends up being selected as a hero, and Chamberlain mentions that insane, but Akira is because he has the highest statistics in the class. Nanis tells him to go to the crystal, but he thinks it can cause problems, reveals his abnormal attributes, and if the king is telling the truth about the demon lord, so he decides to use a skill called hiding presence to become invisible and can hide from everyone. After that, Chamberlain says to rest through the night, but Akira notices and realizes that they are being monitored and thinks that something suspicious is happening. At night, Akira goes out to investigate around when he realizes that they are really in a different world. He jumps into a castle and is surprised by his agility, but he hears the king talking to the princess, so he hides his presence and listens. The king asks if everything is going according to their plan, and she mentions that the students are from a world without magic, so they won't cause any problems. He orders them to keep them away from the castle's archives since they can't learn. Akira thinks they are plotting something. While he's after the king, he thinks about his life immediately, but he gives up and leaves. The next day, Akira asks if he should tell everyone, but he doesn't know how to make them believe. Sato notices that they became stronger after coming to the world, everyone that he wants to use his powers to, and everyone agrees with him. After that, they find a knight commander named Saran, who observes that it will be him who will train them. He mentions that after a month they will go to a dungeon to test their strength, but he knows they have no idea how the world works. Meanwhile, Akira continues his investigation, but Saran notices which surprises Akira, since he never turned off his ability to hide his presence. He wonders if the effect has passed since it reached its maximum duration. Saran notices that his ability is still active, has special eyes that let him see the temperature changes. Akira prepares to fight him, but Saran tells him to stay calm, since he won't, which surprises him, and he asks Saran if he's not by the king's side. So he says the situation is complicated. Akira wants to read the files, since he doesn't know anything about Saran asks about the level of his ability to hide his presence, and he reveals that it is at its maximum, but his other abilities are at level 1, and he has no idea how to increase them. Saran offers himself to teach him, and he mentions what he is looking for in the files, which makes him feel how excited he had been since he arrived at the new world. But he still needs to find a way to return to the family, and Saran has no idea his world, but he thinks that Akira needs to get stronger to survive. Akira doesn't like to receive help for free, so Saran suggests him by telling him stories about his world, since he wants to learn about it. After that, they start training, and Akira little pause. And we are back. A little pause and we are back. Akira arrives and shows Saran a book found in the archives. He reveals that he wrote it disguised as a recipe, but he was sure that Akira would find it. He notices that the king has gone crazy and they can't let him act however they want, but the knights have a great debt with the royalty. Akira, after reading the book, realizes that Saran seeks a peaceful end to the reign, but he thinks it would be easier to kill the king because he has no ties with the world. He mentions that at night, the moment they were summoned, he sneaked into the office and had the opportunity to end his life. He didn't have the courage to do that. Saran thinks he made the right choice, since killing a man is a huge burden, and he observes that although Akira has received the class of assassin, he doesn't need to eliminate anyone. Akira agrees with him, because he knows that if he took someone's life, and sister would never forgive him. He asks Saran why he protects him and explains that he has great hopes in him, because instead of following him, he uses his mind to choose another path. He thinks that only someone who has endured a lot in life can do this. And Akira tells him that he is the first person to praise. But he asks Akira to help him with his blow in return. After a month, Saran takes the students to the dungeon, but Akira is surprised to see who came to say goodbye to them. He sees a girl facing them, so he asks if something is wrong, and with the way everyone treats them as heroes. She says that a lot was sacrificed for them, but she doesn't know what they will talk again when he finds out the answer by himself. When they arrive at the dungeon, they begin to defeat the monsters, but they begin to be overloaded, so Akira suggests retreat, and Saran thinks it's a good idea. He uses his divine sword to open the way, and they run to the exit, but they find another group of monsters. Sato remembers the smoke bomb they gave him to keep the monsters away, but he is shocked to see that it only left them more alone. Gilles and Akira reach them, and Gilles is shocked to see a minotaur attacking them, while Akira runs immediately towards him. He deviates from the attack and tries to stab his neck, but his sword breaks because the skin is very resistant, and Sato tries to help him, tells him to stop because his arms are broken. He says that it is his duty as a hero to protect them, but Akira tells Sato that they can take care of themselves. He starts to lose his mind, thinking he failed as a hero, and Akira asks a girl to discipline Sato while fighting the Minotaur. He says he will use his secret ability because he needs to fight with everything, so Saran asks him to wait for his signal. Saran's body shines, hitting the Minotaur with a ray while Akira activates his dark magic. The Minotaur tries to hit Saran with his axe, but Akira stabs him with his shadows and pulls him into the darkness. He manages to cut his head but begins to lose control of his magic, so Saran calms him down. After they return to the castle, Saran thanks since they managed to survive thanks to him, but he observes that Saran was the one who prevented his magic from going crazy. That the spell charges a price for Akira's body, so although powerful it is, he should only use it when he has no other choice. Saran gives him a katana forged by the first hero, and he wonders why Saran is not giving it to Sato. So he says he doesn't want the king to notice since he stole it from the real arsenal. He says that the katana's name is written on the fist, and he realizes that he can't. But Akira knows the language since it is written in Japanese. He reads a message from the first hero, which mentions that he expects the legitimate successor, and Akira wishes he could have known him. Akira is still worried about Sato, since the curse on him was insane, and Saran thinks he knows who is behind it. At night, we see the princess curse Sato with a crystal, but Akira appears behind her and cuts the crystal in half. He asks why she cursed Sato, but she refuses to say anything, and after he leaves, she opens a closet with a large number of which she plans to use on the students. Then Akira tells Saran that her suspicions were true. Saran asks if he showed himself to the princess. Akira tried to get information from her, but she didn't give a clear answer. Saran says it's just the king's puppet, and he warns Akira not to stay today because she will curse all the students except the hero. But he can't do this to Akira because he knows nothing about him, so he will try to eliminate him. He asks Saran why he is not reprimanding him for revealing himself, that children will make mistakes and it is the work of adults to take care of them. Akira wishes there were people like him in his world, so Saran says to take him. He returns since he wants to see how it is. The next day, when he wakes up, Akira sees all the students gathered outside. He will see what happens, and he is shocked to see that Saran was killed. Everyone blames him because Saran died with the dagger he used, orders the knights to arrest him, but he uses his occultation skill to stay invisible. He gets close to Dials, who reveals that Saran was killed by the king's personal crows, but he left instructions for Akira in his room. So he must take everything and run away. At night, the princess tells the king that she cursed all the students, and that they only need one reason to declare war to the east. He knows that the students are important to him, and thinks that Akira will not, time, but still tells her to ensure that the night crows chase him. Akira goes to a dungeon because Saran said to best hiding place and the fastest way to level up. But he warned Akira that his skill would not hide him from high-level monsters. Because they have improved smell and hearing, he mentioned that if Akira manages to level up his assassination skill, he will be able to hide his smell, his steps and even his signature so that the monsters will not find him. He remembers that Saran told him that he still has a long way to go, thinks that the effort will be worth it because when his class level reaches 100, he will be able to unlock a special skill. Saran told him to fight against the bosses of each 10th floor, and when entering the first room, he sees a chimera attacking him. He deviates from the claws, but his tail launches a poisonous attack that makes him fall to the ground. He stabs him with his claws and throws him away, but he knows that he cannot if he dies there, so he activates his shadow magic that shatters the monster. But we see that he is in critical condition, so the shadow magic automatically enters recovery mode and begins to heal him. Meanwhile, Sato thinks they should fight the Demon King, but the others disagree. Shocked by Saran's death by Akira, he realizes that they are under the curse of the princess that Dilly's mentioned, so he decides to go alone, but some other students decide to accompany him. After leaving the city, Sato wonders why the others followed him. A girl, Yuki, mentions that none of them are under the curse of the princess. Asahi thinks he has something to do with it, revealing a vague memory of destroying crystals in a mysterious room. We discover that Dilly's used his manipulation to control Asahi, because it was the final order of Saran, and Asahi thinks he needs to find Akira. Meanwhile, Akira dreams of the day he met Asahi at work, and asks him to never tell anyone at school. He reveals that he does not want his sister to find out a photo of the sisters, realizing that they are actually friends. When Akira wakes up, he is surprised to see that his wounds have healed. He opens his status and realizes that his attributes have increased, that his shadow magic has also gone up 2 levels, even having used it only once, thinking that this must be the reason why it was easier to control it. Moving on, he finds a slime and cuts it, but is surprised to find an Emilia elf inside. He tries to use an ability called World's Eyes to obtain information about her, but is overloaded by what he sees, so he quickly cancels the ability. He shouldn't use something so dangerous. She wakes up and says she's fine, but he has difficulty believing in her. He knows that her HB is only 2%. He realizes that she also has the ability World's Eyes, so when she calls him name, he says she should have the courtesy of asking his name, even knowing that she can see the star. She suddenly faints, and he realizes she has a fever, so he takes care of her. She wakes up with her stomach rumbling. He tells her to sleep, but she can't rest, she's so hungry. He offers her food, and she asks where he learned to take care of sick people. He explains that he is used to it since he takes care of his mother. She notices that he wrote something on a rock, asks what it is, and he says it's the floor where they are. She remembers that he said they were on the 75th floor, and she asks why they went back to the 69th, so he observes that it was the nearest water source. She wonders if he touched her inappropriately, so he assures her that he did nothing and tells her to sleep. She reveals that, although it is from reality, ever taken such good care of her, and both will sleep. After that, they go to the 81st floor, where she helps him defeat monsters, but he doesn't understand why she is following him, since she has already recovered. That she is going in the same direction by chance, and he will not protect her if something happens. She guarantees that she can take care of herself. They enter a boss room, where a dragon attacks them immediately with its fire breath, but they manage to deviate. He hides his presence while she hits the dragon with her gravity spell, but he still manages to hit Akira. She tells him that they are tracking his mana, so he should spread the magic around, but he reveals that he can't. He attacks the dragon with his black magic and stabs it in the eye with his sword, making it fall to the ground. He reveals that he used mana around him to defeat them, and Emilia is surprised that he can do that. But suddenly he starts to shine and turns into a cat, which shocks them, and Emilia mentions that he is still alive, that he has a metamorphosis ability. She notices that a real dragon would not fall so easily, which makes Akira wonder if she uses the eyes of the world. But she wonders why he doesn't use them, so he says he can't control them. The cat doesn't believe he lost to them, and reveals that he became a dragon for fun, but he ended up exaggerating. He is surprised that he fails, and asks them to stop treating him as a monster, revealing that he was created by the demon lord to be a very intelligent creature. He thinks that a boy like Akira knows nothing, and he remembers the situation, but he doesn't care what they do to him, long as he can deliver the message from the demon lord. Suddenly, he gets up and notices that the demon lord is waiting for Akira in his, which makes him wonder how the demon lord knows him. But the cat says he has no idea. He lies on the ground, asking him to kill him, since he fulfilled his duty. He refuses to kill him, because he doesn't believe that demons are evil. Emilia says that without killing the cat, the room doesn't open, but he refuses to like them. So, he asks if he wants to die of hunger there, but he believes there is another room, and she says they can leave if he makes her family. But the ritual requires the master excellent mana control, which Akira doesn't think he has. Emilia notices that the attack he used was only performed by the first hero, so she is sure he can start the ritual, but not if he succeeds. He wonders what happens if he fails. So, the cat tells him that the two can end dying, but he doesn't care and decides to move on. Emilia doesn't understand why he goes so far instead of just eliminating the cat. But he says he has already decided. She tells him to do whatever he wants, and he gets angry because the cat doesn't. But the cat says that nothing good will come if he continues to live. He asks Emilia how to start the ritual, and she tells him to name the cat, so he calls him Yoru. She tells him to put his mana on it, and tells him that he can't stop once the ritual starts, but he guarantees her that he won't die. When he begins to infuse his mana, he suddenly finds himself in Yoru's mind and sees it destroying a city. He tries to stop him, but he hits him with a ray of energy and says to eliminate him or his soul will perish there. He hits him with his claws, and his real body also begins to bleed, which leaves Emilia worried. He throws knives at Yoru, and the creature thinks he has finally started fighting seriously. She starts to transform, but he lets himself be stabbed by her claws. He tells Yoru that he won't eliminate him, and he knows that he also doesn't. So he tells him that it's monster instinct to hurt other races, but he knows he's fed up with living like this. He tells Yoru that he will take care of him and will guarantee that he won't cause again, which calms him down, and he manages to form a monster pact. While Akira wakes up, he plays Yoru, which changes the symbol, and Emilia mentions that this means that their souls were linked. He promises loyalty, and a teleportation circle appears in front of them. Akira thinks about moving forward, but he knows that Yoru is still injured. Yoru notices that the circle won't disappear until they pass through, so they must wait for it to recover. Emilia suggests that they talk to pass the time, and Yoru agrees because it's a chance to meet each other. Meanwhile, Sato and the others arrive at a city. It's the same as Japan. They wear new clothes and enjoy the food, but Sato observes that they must discuss and mentions that the first thing to do is to find a job. So Nanace thinks that they must register in a guild and become adventurers, and Sato agrees, telling everyone to collect information about this world. One of them, Daisuke, asks himself if there is a book to return to his world, and Sato thinks that the only way is to defeat the Demon King. He notices that the king and the princess must know how to send them since they summoned them, and thinks they can negotiate with him if they defeat the Demon King. He says that they must go to the continent of the Demon Lord as soon as possible. Azari disagrees and thinks they must stay there until they find Akira. He thinks that Akira is stronger than all of them, so it would be foolish without him, but everyone has different opinions. They tell Sato to make the final decision, and he thinks that Akira will not even though they have been in the same class since kindergarten. Akira still does not recognize him. He knows that only the holy sword of the hero can defeat the demon lord, which means that they need one. They work as a team to get it, but Akira will not be interested. He is stronger than them. He thinks they should only work with Akira when they are as strong as him, and decides to stay there to wait for Akira, but only if the monsters in the area are strong enough to help them train. In the dungeon, Amelia reveals that she had to flee from her cell. When they reached her, she used her gravity spell to break the cliff and escape from them. She fell into the river and ended up where she was swallowed by a dark line. She saw Akira when she woke up and did not care about what happened because she met him, but he says she needs to go back and solve things. He knows that her sister has a problem with her, so Amelia should talk to her, but she thinks it's impossible. He tells her about the time he bought a new cell phone for his sister, but she got angry for not wanting him to work more just to buy things for her. So the mother said it's because he loves her. He tells Amelia that even if they fight with their loved ones, there is family at the end of the day, and he wants to see his mother sister but refuses to come back until Saren comes. A dark energy arises around him, but he recomposes, and Yoru commands him to control his thirst for blood. They mention that they also heard about Saren, and Akira wears gloves to play with Yoru to try to ease the mood. He caresses Yoru, who orders him to take it seriously, because if one is eliminated, the other dies too. But they can communicate, no matter the distance, because their souls are already connected. Amelia feels jealous, so Akira notices nothing can be done because Yoru is her relative. While they prepare to cross the circle, Amelia comments that she heard will take them to where one of them wants to go, but she does not care where. They will be teleported, as long as she is with Akira, who wonders if she can also back to his world, but she discards the idea. Since it is not the right time for him to return, they end up being teleported to the land of the elves, which surprises Amelia. But there is an elf who shoots at her. Then Akira protects her and quickly approaches the elf, threatening to kill him if he does not stop. The elf says she has no place there anymore, so she should run away again. But Akira knocks him out. He realizes that they have already been surrounded, and Amelia's sister declares that she will make Amelia pay for the sin she committed. In a flashback, Amelia walks and is impressed to see Rose training with knights managing to disarm them, but Sue reminds her that she will be the next leader. But her fiancé, Liam, ends up wanting to break the engagement. Rose tells Amelia that it is because she is a child and she ends up being accused of an unforgivable sin. In the present, Akira wonders what Amelia did, so Rose reveals that she was poisoned, but Amelia swears that she thought she was giving a potion. Rose tells Akira to hand over Amelia her ability to hypnotize to control him. Amelia gets angry, telling her sister to undo the spell, so that Akira decides what she wants to do for herself. And Rose is surprised to see Amelia angry with her for the first time, reveals that she was not affected, and that the ability does not work on those above her level. Rose does not believe that Akira is stronger than her, but he sends her the false accusations against Amelia. That she is not the kind who lies and deceives. Rose orders the other elves to kill Akira, so he prepares to, but the king suddenly appears and tells them to stop. Rose is surprised to see him, since he outside, and he asks what is happening. All the elves speak for her, citing Amelia's crime, but the king sees that Rose enchanted them with her hypnotizing ability, so he sends her to free them. He promises to fix things with Amelia, but he sends Akira to leave, and Amelia mentions that Akira was the one who saved her. He tells her that it does not matter because other races are forbidden to be, so she decides to leave too, but he does not allow it since she is the one who will one day occupy her place. Akira says that Amelia can decide for herself, and he even threatens the king. Realizes his ability to defeat Liam, so he challenges Akira to a duel where the winner will decide the fate. He tells Rose to fight in her place, decides to do it in front of the sacred tree. On the way, Amelia apologizes for involving Akira, but he says it was his own decision. He asks why she was called the daughter of the plague, so she explains the legends say that when twins are born and one is different from the other, they will bring calamity to Earth in the future. Yoru observes that the legend has long been discarded as superstition, so he thinks that Rose mentioned it out of jealousy, and Akira says she thinks her hair is beautiful. They arrive at the sacred tree, and Akira decides not to use her hidden to see when he wins, but Amelia warns him that Rose is the strongest swordswoman among the elves. Akira is surprised by her compliment, so she remembers that they still sees her as her precious little sister. While they prepare to fight, Rose does not believe that he does not draw the sword, so he observes that he does not want to kill her accidentally. The king orders them to start, and Rose attacks immediately, but Akira avoids her sword and pushes her away. She thinks he is playing with her, so he improves the sword with the magic of the wind and hits him with it, but he manages to deviate. He approaches her and scratches her, knocking her down, and asks her if she is coming. He mentions how Amelia praised her, hoping they can solve things, but she notices that Amelia stole everything from him. She continues the attack, pushing him back, but her magic comes out of control. So Akira orders Iru to protect Amelia. In a flashback, we see Rose admiring Amelia's hair, but after Amelia was identified as a legendary spiritual medium, she received all the attention. She insists on taking back what is hers, and Amelia says she needs to stop. Liam gives her an item to help her, and branch of the sacred tree to purify the whole area. All the soldiers are freed from Rose's trance, and it's the end for her, so she prepares her final attack. Akira realizes that those who are behind won't survive if he deviates, so she activates her magic of shadows and devours the wind. But about to consume Rose too, he calls her back and she covers her body. Rose refuses to lose, but he blocks her attack and sends her flying. She thinks that Amelia and Liam are there to laugh since they broke her spell so easily. But Amelia says that Liam was never under her control. She doesn't believe it and asks to punish her however but the king suddenly admits that he was wrong. He reveals that Amelia never took anything and he used her ability to erase her memories. He returns them to her, and we see her wanting to get stronger. She goes to the dungeon, where a mysterious person gives her an orb attract monsters, saying that defeating them will help her to level up faster. So she uses it in the dungeon, but too many monsters appear and she quickly gets overloaded. She runs away, but is shocked because they shouldn't be able to follow her. She thinks she should fight so that no one else gets hurt, and Liam comes running but is stabbed by a goblin. The king explains that she fell in despair of guilt after Liam's death, so he had to erase her memory. But Amelia, fortunately, created a magic of resurrection, and Liam could be saved. But after that, Rose felt a distance from everyone because she was the only one who didn't know the truth. The king realizes that trying to keep the secret created a barrier between them. So he wanted her to increase her trust in the duel so she wouldn't have to depend on her ability to hypnotize. And he wanted to as soon as his heart could. He mentions that when Liam was revived, a sacred tree leaf melted into his body, so he became immune to the ability to hypnotize. And he explains that he tried to help her, but Amelia ended up being exiled. Rose doesn't believe she's mistaken the alien concern for pity sister and who always took care of her enemy. But Amelia says she was always kind, and it seems that everyone finally reconciled. After that, they have a banquet, and Akira reminds the king that he was so Amelia is free to do whatever she wants. The king wonders where he will go next, so he mentions that Iru told him about of the beast men because it's a good place to acquire weapons, and Amelia decides to follow him wherever he goes. Meanwhile, we see Sato and the others on a ship, and he apologizes to Asahi for wait for Akira, but we know that they are also on their way to the beasts to improve their weapons. Rose tells Amelia to come back whenever she wants, while Liam asks Akira and the king observes that the soldiers will escort them to the port. He mentions that kidnappings have been reported on the coast lately, but tells Amelia not to worry because Akira will protect her. On the carriage, Akira asks Iroh why he kept quiet in front of the king. He explains that he didn't want to cause problems, reveals that his senses still linked to the Demon Lord but he is free from his control, and that the Demon Lord wants to find Akira. Amelia thinks he wants to make friends with Akira, and Iroh reveals that he for having managed to surround himself with the Shadow's magic in the last battle. He explains that he was only able to do this because he was desperate to suddenly he feels a presence and orders the carriage to stop. They see bandits following them and tell everyone to tie themselves threatening up, to kill a girl if they don't cooperate. The elves realize that they are the kidnappers of Akira, talking about everyone and recognize Amelia as an elven princess, so they realize that they won the lottery and think Lord Graham will be happy when Akira uses his expertise to knock them out. The elves to tie them up while Amelia frees the hostage. An elf mentions their leader, Graham, revealing his reality on the continent of the feral men, and Akira orders the elves to take the kidnappers back to the palace. Akira's group arrives at the port that he wants to get stronger to avenge Sauron. Yuri says that there is a labyrinth in the port city where he can increase his level, but it will take a few days there, so they should just relax for now. Amelia is having fun because it is her first time traveling. She realizes that Akira is busy reading books. He reveals that he received them from her father as a farewell gift, upset because he will not be enjoying the trip with her. And after a while, they finally arrive at the port city. Akira realizes that the humans are working for the feral people through the city, while a group of feral men tells him to hand them over to Amelia, but he refuses to cooperate, so they threaten to smash, thinking that he has no chance for being just a human. Then he realizes that the feral men despise humans and prepare to attack him. He uses his dark magic to blind them. He passes by them, and we learn that he did not crush them because he did not want. Amelia realizes that the feral men fear Yoru. She wonders why they fear him, so he observes that there is a reason why welcome on this continent, but we see a man hiding while he observes them. They dine in a hotel and prepare to sleep. Mentions that she wants to sleep next to Akira. He tells her that they should sleep in separate beds, but Yuri knows what she is plotting, so he leaves them in the room, saying to enjoy the time together. She takes a shower, but when she returns to the room, she realizes that so she kisses him and tells him to sleep well. But we find out that he just pretends because he does not know what to do in this situation. The next day, Yoru returns to Akira that he took advantage of sleeping next to Amelia. Yoru sends them to prepare for a meeting. A blacksmith, Crow, visits them, reveals that he spoke to him the night before. Crow says he had no choice because the nightmare of Adlia summoned him. Yoru reveals that he wanted Akira to meet Crow, the best blacksmith in the world. He looks at Akira's sword and realizes that it is very used, but says he can fix it with the right budget and materials. So Akira promises to give him what he needs, and says he also wants murder tools. But Crow thinks that Akira is not worthy of wielding the weapons since she has no experience. Amelia thinks Crow doesn't know anything about combat. Reveals that he was a member of the last hero group, so he is an experienced fighter. He gives Akira a list of the materials he needs, and when leaving mentions that keep the sword until he finishes fixing it. Yoru admits that he is difficult to deal with, but assures Akira that Crow is perfect person for the job, telling Akira that he can find the materials hunting monsters in the labyrinth. Amelia mentions that she needs to leave because she wants to talk Akira to Crow. Orders Yoru to follow her, telling to use telepathy in case something happens. Amelia and Yoru visit Crow, who asks them what they want, and Amelia knows that the hero were the only ones who survived when their group failed to defeat the Demon Lord. He says that one of their elves didn't survive and thinks she came to arrest him for abandoning the comrade, but she believes he survived because he is a capable fighter. She asks him to teach her how to fight, but he says he doesn't accept disciples since the ones he trained failed, but she promises not to disappoint him. She explains that she wants to be stronger to stay by Akira's side, but she knows it's nothing compared to him. He calls Yuru the nightmare of Adlia, and reminds him only accept requests to fix and forge weapons. But Yuru tells him to stop calling him that. Crow says he deserves to have terrified the beasts. Here, and Amelia asks what he did before Akira. In a 100 years ago flashback, we learned that Adlia was the most prosperous city on the demonic territory. Then Lord Demon sent Yuru to warn them. But he ended up destroying the city when his demonic instincts took over, and the beast people tried to revive him, but they were no match for him. And after the incident, the beast people began to call him the nightmare of Adlia. To the present, Akira discovers, since her mind is linked to Yuru, who notices her change for having a new master. Crow hardly believes, but says she never hated Yuru, and mentions that the story does not end there. In another flashback, we see Crow paying homage to his sister, and Yuru recognizes him as a member of the heroes group, asking if he wants to fight, but he explains that he does not hate Yuru since the Demon King was just using him, and Crow observes that it was not he who killed his sister. He reveals that she tried to save the prisoners in Adlia, but Yuru would return to end them, and ordered his men to kill them. We return to the present while Crow reveals that he did not take revenge. He knows that his sister does not want him to follow this path. Amelia mentions that she feels sorry for his sister. Since he is using her as an excuse for his cowardice, she reveals that it was the same before meeting Akira, because she turned again and thought she was doing it for her sister, but he helped her realize how wrong she was. We see Akira looking for the labyrinth when monsters suddenly appear and attack the city. The population flees and Amelia smashes the monsters with her magic while Yuru helps the civilians to escape. But the man who was watching them appears. She recognizes him as the one who deceived Rose. He presents himself as Orm and reveals that the demon lord ordered him before summoning the monsters to surround her. We see Akira while he defeats a monster, but Yuru tells him that Amelia was kidnapped and observes that she was taken to the labyrinth. Then he decides to go there and knocks down the monsters on his way, but he realizes that there are many of them. Then he sends Yuru to stay and uses the magic shadows, which hits all the monsters in the area. But he screams while channeling him, and realizes that Amelia is precious. It is the first time he feels anger. He manages to annihilate the monsters, but he also reached his limit and ends up fainting. Yuru runs to his side, but his shadow magic automatically changes to a recovery mode and heals his body. When he wakes up, Yuru explains that he took him back to Crow's house. He was unconscious for more than a day and would have died if it weren't for his shadow magic. He wonders what kind of magic it is, but Akira thinks they have more important things to worry about. He immediately thinks about going after Amelia, but Crow observes that more day has passed, so she may even have been taken to the demonic realm. Akira does not care, so Crow sends him to asking how he intends to fight a demon without his weapons. He reveals that he finished fixing them, and Akira sees that he divided his sword. Crow mentions that short swords are more suitable for assassins. He also gives Akira a ring that was forged by a previous hero and explains can guide him to whatever he is looking for. So he does a test by throwing a red arrow, and Yuru realizes pointing that to the maze still, which means that Amelia has not yet been taken to the demonic realm. Akira leaves immediately, and Yuru tells him not to be so reckless again. Meanwhile, in the maze, we see Orm, who mentions that demons have a spell to control monsters, and it seems that it can also be used to immobilize Amelia elves. Wonders what they are doing there, so Orm explains that demons need to be at least 2nd grade to teleport. And since he is only 3rd grade, he is waiting for his boss to arrive. Akira continues his search. Follows his ring and confirms that they must enter the maze. A girl suddenly appears, and Akira recognizes her. She asks him to go get Amelia, but he grabs her, asking how he knows that Amelia is in the maze. She explains that he used his lighthouse, which brought her there. He wonders what she wants with Amelia, so she reveals herself as Leah, the first princess of the Beast People. She heard that Amelia was the target of the demon king, so he came to warn them, but it was too late. Akira uses her ability, World Eye, and sees that she is not lying. He also asks about his spiritual barrier, surprises her because he doesn't know how he knows, but she explains that normal barriers are static, while can be placed on objects in motion, including people. She swears to be useful and thinks they can't let the Demon King put his hands on Amelia's resurrection spell, so Akira allows her to go with them. Meanwhile, Amelia discovers what the Demon Lord wants from her, but she can live forever, so she wonders why they want her resurrection spell, but Orm is not sure because he only follows orders. While Akira goes to the maze, he wonders what Lear did in Hethys when he met her. She says she was looking for the family, abducted by a dark slime. She explains that it was adopted by royalty before she lived in a small remote village. There was a dark slime that appeared one day and swallowed everyone. Akira thinks it's the same thing that happened to Amelia and Lear, that the royal family adopted her for her protective abilities. She then investigated the incident as a princess, and this led her to Hethys. It turns out that it wasn't just her village. There were many humans and beasts who disappeared. They were all used as sacrifices to summon heroes, and that's why she doesn't like them. Akira observes that he was also one of those who were summoned, but she doesn't blame him because she thinks the king and the princess were responsible. Akira mentions that she also doesn't believe he was summoned to stop them, and Yoru confirms that it was a lie because demons didn't make any progress in more than a century. They arrive at the maze and we discover that they need monsters on each floor to advance further. Akira thinks about using her shadow magic, but Yoru asks him to save energy, saying he can fight, but he fears losing control, so Akira calms him down, saying he's there to watch him. He instantly transforms and begins to go crazy, crushing the monsters. He begins to lose control, but Akira manages to connect with him and calm his mind. They talk about why everyone hates the demons, so Yoru mentions that the Demon Lord attacked the other races, and it became an idea that the demons were the root of all evil. But Yoru observes that not all demons are like that. Akira thinks it's a pity, but mentions that if the Demon King is behind Amelia's kidnapping, he won't have any pity for him. They finally arrive at Amelia, and Yoru is impressed by them arriving so quickly. Yoru realizes he has reached his limit, but Akira thanks him for taking them there. They prepare to fight, and Lear throws her barrier at Amelia. She apologizes to Akira for involving him, but he says he's just doing what he wants. He tries to attack Oran from behind, but it doesn't work, and he ends up being hit. Akira's attacks, Oran easily deviates from everything and slashes him again. Lear can't believe that there's water to cross her barrier, so Yoru notices Oran's spear is reinforced with concentrated mana. Oran thinks he should end things, but Akira activates her shadow magic. She consumes her own blood from the ground, and he summons shadow beasts to attack. And while Oran is distracted, he manages to make a decisive blow. Oran is taken to his knees, but Akira also seems to be reaching his limit. Oran starts playing his flute, which attracts several monsters to attack Akira. While they carry attacks, Akira realizes she can't use shadow magic. But Lear suddenly uses her inverted barrier on him, draining the energy. She manages to block and reflect the damage on the monsters, killing them in time. Amelia is freed because Oran is weakened, and he asks Akira to kill him because he won't give up. But Akira hesitates in killing him. He thinks about what Saren would tell him to do, but a teleport circle appears, and the second-class demon Mahiro suddenly joins them. Yoru tells Akira not to face him from the front because it's not fair to him, and Mahiro tells Orm to rest before pushing him. He stabs his finger, and Lear's barrier is stretched. Akira then tells her to retreat, but Mahiro reveals he's not with her. He uses his puppet spell, and Akira tries to block but realizes it's not the target, and Amelia screams when she's hit. Akira is angry because he hurt her, but he explains didn't kill her, and tries to provoke Akira to attack him. He knows there's no chance against Mahiro, so he plans to save her as his priority. But Mahiro reveals his objective is to kidnap her, and he blocks all the doors. Akira knows that he can't fight with full strength because he used shadow magic. And Mahiro asks if his name is in kanji, revealing he lived in Japan before he was summoned. Akira then asks why he works with demons, but Mahiro attacks him with magic. Akira avoids it, but she turns around and hits him. He advances, but Mahiro pushes him back and continues to push him away. A little pause and we are back. A little pause and we are back. Vector says that it's the last time they will talk. Akira tells Yuru that they can fight together to defeat him, and Yuru turns, revealing that it's the only way to rival Mahiro. But he tells Akira that he can't keep in shape for a long time, so they need to end the fight quickly. Mahiro attacks them with magic arrows, then and Yuru summons a giant hammer of light. A little pause and we are back. A little pause and we are back. A little pause and we are back. And the voice mentions that he is about to enter combat mode. Mahiro advances, but Akira dominates him and he summons magic blades to attack. Uses his shadows to block them and contain them. The voice warns him to cancel the puppet spell, but he refuses to cooperate and observes that humans are nothing compared to demons. The voice tells him not to make assumptions and observes that hard work is not always rewarded. But it is wrong to give up without at least trying. Mahiro gets upset and creates some magic needles to attack Amelia. Suddenly returns to normal and sees in trouble she is, so he protects her with his body. But the needles disappear before hitting him because everyone realizes that Crow has unleashed Mahiro's magic. Mahiro does not believe that he is still alive, since the feral men live older than humans, and he notices that he is not as he used to be, but he has not yet lost his cunning. Mahiro believes in him, since he managed to dissipate the magic in an instant. Abe Ote transports and leaves with Aura. Leia observes that he did not expect Crow to come, and Akira asks him if he knows. He just says to Akira to rest and suddenly faints. Akira wakes him up and Iori tells him that he was unconscious for 3 days. Will wake up by his side, but they are happy. He thanks Crow for saving them, but then asks about Leia. So Crow reveals that he sent her back to the royal palace. He tells the Akira's guests to come in and realizes that Sato and his friends have been issued Sato's testimony. But Akira tells them to calm down and explains that he is doing well, but asks about the plans. Sato observes that they want to defeat the demon, but Yuru knows that they will not have a chance, and Yuki says he doesn't like him because he has bothered them. Akira asks to talk to them alone and asks why they want to defeat the Demon King. Sato explains that it is to convince the king to send them back to the world. They ask him to fight alongside them, even knowing that he is stronger. But he thinks the king will never negotiate because he uses curses to control people and even killed Saran. Sato admits he is right and asks about other problems, so he remembers how he sacrificed to perform the invocation ritual, but he decides not to tell everyone about it. They ask how he plans to go home, so he explains that second-degree demons create teletransport circles and he thinks there's a chance they can take them back to their world. He plans to go to demonic lands. The two gods who were on the moon after the defeat of the one so close to powerful that says they would only get in the way. After this, Gilly goes out to discuss their order with Crow and everyone is upset because Akira doesn't want to join them, but they're determined to prove their value to him. Akira sees Amelia looking at the sea. She says she is afraid to separate from him, knowing he will return to her world. He apologizes for slapping her, feels guilty for hurting her, but is happy to leave a scar on his chest. A little pause and we are back. A little pause and we are back. A little pause and we are back. They see a demon lot discussing with a receptionist since demons cannot enter the contest. She finds the rules racist, but Akira hardly believes that she is a demon since she does not feel her powers. Amelia approaches the receptionist, who recognizes her of the elves and allows her to participate. Lot asks Akira to convince the receptionist to let her in, but Amelia is and asks if he likes Lot, so he says that is not the case. Lot continues to discuss with the receptionist, and Amelia asks him to help, explaining that there is nothing against her, so he tells the receptionist to let her in, promising to stop her if she tries, and the receptionist allows her to participate. Lot is happy for the help, but recognizes Yuru, who reveals having made a pact with Akira, which does not bother her. She decides to spend some time with them before the contest and introduces herself to everyone, asking for votes to win. She gives an autograph to someone and asks everyone to come closer so that she can meet them and greet them. Akira cannot believe that she is a demon, since she is entertaining her fans. Yuru observes that she is not like the others. Akira hears two girls talking about him, but they run when he comes looking, and Crow tells him that he is famous because everyone saw him defeat the monsters to save the city. Crow observes that everyone calls him a silent killer and gives him a yellow, saying that he belongs to the Adventurers Guild. He tells Akira that he was promoted to the yellow class as a reward for defeating monsters, and Amelia reveals that he belongs to the silver class, superior to the yellow, but she notices that he is inferior to the gold which class, was granted to only 3 people, and reveals that Rose is one of them. Sato and Zahis say they are also yellow rank, so can talk to them to learn how to be an adventurer, but Emilia goes out to taste the festival's Akira tells Yuru to go with her and eliminate whoever tries something, and observes her while she talks to the other candidates. Akira wonders why Crow joined them because he doesn't like parties, and he tells Akira that he has a little sister, but she is not the reason for not avenging himself. He observes that he simply got too old, but Akira tells him that he still looks, so he explains that the feral men get old in a different way, revealing that he has already lost many of his powers, that killing Graham will not be easy because he has mercenaries guarding him all the time, and Crow observes that Emilia was a target when since Graham sold the information to the demons. Akira asked Crow if he is sure, and he reveals that he checked while Akira was sleeping, and says that he put a magic crystal on Lear's staff, which made him discover that they were in trouble. He reveals that he saved him so that he owed him a favor, and tells Akira a job request for him. But Akira is shocked while he says sleeping. Akira to reflect on this, but Jill notices that they need a camp. And Crow mentions that they can use his contest to guarantee a good place. During the event, Yuki goes on stage, and Sato thinks her beautiful. While Asahi is happy that Crow helped her to get a good place, since Akira stands out in public. Shiori also goes up on stage, and everyone thinks Yuri knows that Emilia is the next. We all know that everyone hopes she wins, and while presenter presents her, she says that she is the next. A little pause and we are back. 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 And he reveals that he has defeated the male segment. And Asahi realizes that Yoru is not Akira close. Reveals that she sent him to a task. Sato and the others go out to take a shower, and Crow remembers Akira from but he observes that he still needs time to think. Emilia tells him to rest since he hasn't slept in 2 days, and where she uses her spell to make him fall asleep. She asks Crow what he told Akira, and he reveals that he only offered her, and she observes that she won't let him do something he doesn't want, telling Crow not to compromise her way of life. Then he explains that he is not forcing her to do anything. Akira can compromise herself for her desire to protect her. The next day, Lot asks where Akira is, so Emilia says that he is still sleeping, and tells Lot that they shouldn't bother him just to get the prizes. Sato thinks that the kidnappers are waiting for them, but they should be careful with Lot, since they don't know what she thinks. They arrive at an abandoned building where they would get their prizes, but suddenly they are surrounded by criminals who tell Emilia that Crow wants to see her. So she realizes that they work for him, that he is bad, so she refuses to go with them. They prepare to take her to the Force, but she uses her gravity spell to crush them, and asks one of them what Crow wants with her. He tries to be silly, but she knows that he is lying, so she continues to crush, and he agrees to tell everything he knows. He finds out that the kidnapped winners have removed their organs and sold them. Graham paid for them to keep quiet and not spread lies. So she realizes that they planned on selling her, and gets ready to crush death. But Lottie, a half-Seaverage Russia, prevents her from doing that. The mind history of killing more criminals. We see Akira see what's happening, as her mind is connected to Emilia's mana. He is happy that Lot has stopped her from killing her, as she wishes to stop her. So she does catacombs until the end of the world. Hansen escapes, but nothing is out of her control for 2 months. A little pause and we are back. A little pause and we are back. A little pause and we are back. and he mentions that they wanted to prove that they wouldn't just get in the way. Do much in the end. Akira decides to take control because he doesn't want Graham to chase. Crow observes that he needs to go to the capital, since Graham is acting as guild master there. Sari still wants to help, but Akira tells them that they would only get in the way. Crow also mentions that if Akira helps him, will guide them through the demonic territory. Akira says she will think. The others plan to go ahead and wait for him in the surroundings of the territory. Then Crow suggests an old hiding place that his group used. Next, Emilia will talk to Crow, and she tells him to stop overloading Akira, but she also asks him to be her disciple. She realizes that being the target, she wants to get stronger, force Akira to a path just to protect her, and Crow considers thinking she can handle his training. Gilly and the others say goodbye to Akira, and he gives her a bag. He notices that when Akira got her things out of the palace, he left her behind. Akira wonders what it is, but Gilly is not sure, but he observes that it was prepared by Sari, so he thinks it will be useful. Sari tells him to stay safe, promising to be stronger next time they meet. And everyone watches as he leaves. We see Emilia exhausted from her training, and Crow observes that she is his only apprentice who arrived on the third day. He expected that because she is a person he admired. Akira wonders what he wants to say, so he mentions how she seemed to have legend because she created a magic repelled monsters and even resurrected the dead. Later, when he was invited to help name Leia, even used part of Amelia's name as inspiration. Akira wonders why it was so hard with Emilia but she found more ground than he imagined. And after training her, he realizes that she is real. He mentions having taught her the first hero's counterspell ability, which nullifies any magic just by observing, but first requires learning an incredibly ancient language, with each character carrying magic can strangle the mind of a person if it is not careful. But Emilia managed to create her own understanding ability to learn it. Akira admires how Crow learned, being so difficult, and says that time was in his favor. He explains that the feral men have an expectation of life twice as long as a human, and drugs while she was pregnant with him, so his life is even longer. Akira thinks he was lucky, but he is tired and cannot die until he avenges his sister. So Akira realizes that he has gone through a lot. We see Yohu getting ready to investigate the capital, but he finds She asks where Akira and Emilia are, and he says he went ahead to get information. He suddenly decides to go with him, because it seems fun. When Emilia wakes up, she discovers that they have arrived at the capital of Urek, that he will prepare their accommodation, saying that he has time to explore and find Leia in the central source. Akira and Emilia decide to have a meeting, and Akira tells her to eat as much as she of the food as a reward for studying the old language so hard every day. She wants it to be like that every day, but Akira hesitates, thinking about something, but she says not to worry because she will get stronger and he will no longer need to worry about her. They find Leia in the source, and she is happy to see them again. She guides them through the city and takes them on a boat trip. They see the palace from afar, and Leia mentions that everyone is waiting there because the king has prepared a banquet for Emilia. Akira thanks Leia for saving her life in the fight against a reverse barrier spell because she remembered Crow's magic. She is flustered when she hears this, but she observes that it is nothing compared to Crow, and is shocked when she discovers that Emilia is learning Crow's reverse spell. She also thinks that Akira's dark magic was incredible, but he is not sure, because the body moved by itself. After that, they meet the king and Shan, and he observes that, although Leia adopted, she is still his daughter, so he thanks them for saving her. He also has a request for Akira, but Akira says that it will depend on what the king's guard captain does not like his attitude, but the king calms him down that the request is just a simple murder. Akira immediately refuses, but when he hears that Graham is the target, he is interested. The king explains that Graham was their chancellor, but they expelled him to be guild master. Now he only uses mercenaries to do what he well understands. The king thinks that he will end up destroying the prestige of the royal family. Akira does not care for one of these reasons. The king offers protection in exchange for the task, but Akira observes that himself, saying that he does not need someone weaker than him to guard him. The captain thinks he is very arrogant, and Emilia prepares to defend Akira, but he offers to prove that he is not deceived, and the king agrees to duel him with the captain. They prepare to fight outside, but Akira throws away his swords and says that he will fight with his magic tools. The king starts the fight, and the captain attacks him immediately, breaking the ground to throw stones at him, but he manages to dodge them. He deviates from the captain's next attack, his kunai to grab his leg, but the captain pulls him. He manages to jump away, thinking that it is time to end this, and while advances, he destroys the captain's weapon and holds his blade on his neck. The king is shocked by the result, and Emilia tells him not to question Akira again. But he also comments on their relationship, thinking it cruel because their lives are so different. After that, Akira meets Crow in their hotel. Akira is impressed with the luxury of the place. Crow explains that the owner owes him a favor. Emilia tells Akira that the bed is huge, and that she wants to lie down with him. But he refuses. He starts reading a book, and that Akira reminds him of a person he met. They had an insatiable thirst for knowledge, always reading books, and ended up being considered a hero. They were masters both in sorcery and in the sword, and Akira is shocked to know that he is talking about Saran.